there. So this video is going to be for those who are feeling irritable. And for me, irritability sort of just pops up. You know, it's not like you're walking around angry necessarily, but it's almost a sense like every little intrusion of your space, mind, body, spirit, it creates an irritability and maybe an ugliness, an internal ugliness. You're not necessarily lashing out. You could be. So I did another video separately for feeling angry, another one for feeling frustrated and trapped, another one for feeling depressed. It kind of has many of the negative feelings, negative not meaning a judgment on those feelings, but they just don't feel good to have those feelings. That would be contained in the depressed video. Check them all out. See if you can get any additional messages, guidance, or comfort from spirit. That is the purpose of me doing these videos, is that we're all moving through grief in our own way and at our own pace. And our world has been turned upside down on the micro and macro level. And so I thought it would be nice to take this opportunity to get some guidance, clarity, and some comfort from spirit. So if you are feeling irritable, let's look at what this is about. This emotion is actually the emotion that I have been struggling with the most. And it shocks me every time. I'm like, where did that come from? You know? And that's kind of, I started talking to spirit and trying to meditate on it. And I thought I'm going to sit down with the cards and see what this is about for me. And that was the spark to do this series. Okay, so what is for anyone who's feeling irritable? What do they need to know? What is this about? Too many cards. Okay. Irritability about. Irritability about. Wow. I cannot even tell you how much this card has come up in these readings. Judgment. And at the bottom of the deck is Two of Pentacles. So there's a couple of things that are coming to mind right now. One is that we have a choice, or we're needing to choose, maybe in a way that we would rather not have to be dealing with. There could be, again, as part of the irritability, some resistance to having to choose between two things, and or even no idea how to choose. It's more like I have to balance all of these things. or these options, you know, for instance, my health or my job, my job or my future relationships. I mean, I'm kind of thinking about healthcare workers right now. Like, it's just, we're in this topsy-turvy predicament, and it's like the choices don't feel like a choice necessarily. Okay, but the card that came out was Judgment, and so I think this is a time, this is about allowing yourself to surrender again, very much like the frustrated, trapped reading, which, you know, in order to be reborn or rebirthed, we have to let something die. And I think there is something, God, Spirit, there's a higher knowing that is out there waiting for us to surrender so that it can come and rebirth and raise us up from, you know, the dead. And I know that there is very real, like I said, you know, we're maybe juggling between our health and the health of our families and our livelihood. How do you do that? So I understand that there really are lives being lost and health issues, but at the same time, I think there's something else that needs to die, and that could be the sense of what we have known our world and life and priorities and even faith and spirituality. Some of those things need to die, to be surrendered to what is happening at present, so that we can be reborn. And that feels like an invasion. And that irritability, as much as we're struggling with maybe even the surrender part, it's still an invasion. It's still like, for me, it's kind of like I said, the mind, body, spirit, it's like any interruption in my mental space, whether I'm meditating or I'm thinking through things, or I just want to go for a peaceful walk, or it's not any interruption. It's just like, ugh. I mean, it's crazy. These people, never noticed that before. Which I'm not even gonna get into that detail, but all right. I just saw that she has golden hair, which made me start to hear the song Sister Golden Hair. I love that song. I can't think of all of the lyrics right now, but I will put it in the description box, and let's see if there's any extra message coming through. Sister Golden Hair Surprise. I just can't live without you. Can't you see it in my eyes? Something. Okay. Anyway, you know my gist. So what was I getting at? You know, the people are embracing this help, the resurrection, but they first had to allow themselves to die and be naked before everything that is going on. The choppy waters. I mean, some of them are out in the water. The crypts are out in the water. And so I just, again, and this is resonates to the number 20, and which is 2, and 2 for me is, it's 2 things. There's a choice. Oh, and then here's 2 as well. 2 of Pentacles. It's choice, but it's also potentially a portal. 2 wands form like a doorway, right? Going into that third thing. Okay, so maybe reflect on where you're struggling to surrender. What are you struggling to surrender? Do you have real choices in the things you're trying to choose between? Or is there something else that you need to choose, like uncertainty, dealing with uncertainty, dealing with I'll know more when I know more, and that's all I can work with right now. I'm just going to work with what I can do right now. I'm going to surrender to that. You know, there's all different sorts of things that we're all struggling with. But so what can we do, Spirit? What to do? What do we need to do? We're feeling irritable. The Magician. Understand that you have everything you need to create the world that you want. Connecting to Spirit, the hand rising up towards the higher plane, connected to all that is, manifesting down to the material. Okay, you have earth energy, water energy, fire energy, and air. The material, the emotional, the spiritual, the passion, the courage, the mental and verbal ability to create your reality. You get to decide what to do with the time once you surrender to what is happening, rather than sitting in this energy, which is anguish, anxiety, keeping you up all night. No. And there are ways to do that. They're, sitting in meditation, acting at, envisioning what you want, allowing yourself to feel the feelings that come with the vision that you have. I mean, athletes use this technique all the time. It's a part of the placebo effect as well. Sit and envision and meditate first in what is it that you would like, how would you like to feel What do those things give you? What's that feeling that you feel? And take any step in that direction to create that. Start with where you are, with what you have, with what you know. Take your spiritual faith. Take your spirituality and your faith, whatever that is, without an intermediary, and manifest it here on earth. Faith and fear. Which one are you going to choose? You know, that type of worry is so based in the future and in the unknown. There's nothing that we can work with if we're trying to work with something that's in the future or is based in the unknown. There's nothing. But you can work with what you do know here in the present, including in what is you can conceive of in your mind. The potential outcome. Yes, exactly. I have an inspiration. I have an idea. What am I going to do with it? Where am I going to take this little shoot and sprout of an idea, of a passion? Inspired idea. Go with that. It's what inspired me to do this video, was me working with my irritability, sitting in meditation, or not, I was walking, and praying and listening. Say praying is talking to God and meditating is listening. And then I took that idea and then here I am doing this. This is what I can do. And it happens to be aligned with my passion. And move quickly into that rather than you know, being sort of immobilized and paralyzed and then irritable because you can't get going, get some movement, right? Okay, so let's take, wow, sorry, I talked so much on that. What was that about? Okay, let's get an oracle card from the Spirit Oracle deck. Spirit Animal Oracle deck. If you'd like to get your own, that's what that looks like, by Colette Baron Reed. Just going to take one right here. Whoop. Dove Spirit, be peace. How sweet is that? Perfect. Dove Spirit, be peace, 21. With her peaceful cooing, the gentle dove spirit invites you to embrace the energy of peace and allow compassion to warm your heart. You always have the power to generate peace within you. And the appearance of dove spirit is a reminder that today and every day is a good day to meditate, to quiet any turbulence within as you embody tranquility. Above, below, and all around you, much may be happening to distract you, but you are called to engage it with the heart of a peacemaker, asking yourself, what would peace do? Can you agree to disagree? The peace you seek rises within and spreads out into the world as Spirit sends her messenger to remind you of the beauty of the harmonious existence with all that is. Like what I said, You are a part of all that is and ever will be. How beautiful and powerful is your compassionate heart. However disturbed the waters around you, however troubled your heart, Dove Spirit is there to remind you that peace without begins within as you reconnect with Spirit through practices that awaken you from spiritual amnesia. Okay. Wonderful. Wow. Great. Okay, and this is from Keepers of the Light by Kyle Gray. Okay, another oracle message. This deck looks like that. I've loved working with these the past few days and doing these videos. They've been so spot on and very comforting to me, at least. It's if you don't like to meditate or know how to meditate or find that you're able to quiet your mind, this is one way to do that. To set an intention, to ask, and then draw a card. Oh, Mother Mary, love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. Okay. Her halo has the flower of life in it. So much validation for this reading. Mary, the mother of Jesus, is one of the best loved saints. I just want to hold this up while I read. Masters and guides of the world. Although she has a huge part to play in the Catholic faith, she can bring faith, peace, and love to anyone who calls on her. Call on her every day. She is the saint of the people. She works directly with the angels of peace to bring healing to the world, particularly where there is conflict, and is dedicated to supporting children and mothers. She is the spiritual embodiment of unconditional love and acceptance. Can you imagine having to surrender your son, a peacemaker, to the cruel death? There are no words. It is time to let go of conflict or the need to be right. The more you fight for the point you want to prove, the unhappier you will be. Pointing out the mistakes or mishaps of others just blocks the road to love in your own life. Mary, the divine mother of acceptance, is with you now, encouraging you to forgive. Forgiveness is not about letting anyone get away with their bad choices, but about choosing to create your own happiness. Mother Mary also brings healing to you and your mother. If you miss her, are out of contact with her, or have an old trauma that needs healing, know that Mary's miraculous light is here now to wash away the darkness. Wow. And a message from Spirit. Postcard from Spirit. Postcard from Spirit. Top one. Okay. Dearest you, we need you to know that you can change things miraculously for you and everyone and make things right. It's never too late. Forgiveness is about... Wow, what's a forgiveness here? That can be about forgiveness. That's ultimately what, we think about, like we're going to have ultimate forgiveness, right? A do-over. Raised from the dead. It's never too late. Forgiveness is about releasing yourself from the burden of an old story one in which you are a victim of someone else's actions or your own. You don't need to carry this around. You can set yourself free. Even advocating for good because of this experience requires your forgiveness to be effective. Forgiveness is never about condoning things that were done. It's about letting yourself off the hook from carrying the burden. Resentment and hurt are like viruses that spread to others, and that is the opposite of what you really desire, right? Imagine what your life would be like without the burdens that you carry when you do not forgive. You can do it. Everyone over here believes in you and adores you. From Spirit. Celebrate life. Did I talk about in this video like all of the different choices and maybe the people? It might have been the last video. I think I'll just let it stand at that. So, honey, be you. Give yourself and others compassion and forgiveness. It's not easy having to make the choices that we're making now, or having to figure out what we're going to do with the choices that we have. Some of them don't feel very much like choices, do they? But we do have a choice to respond to what is and how to surrender. And just know that as you move through your feelings of grief, we all are connected in that. And so offer yourself compassion, offer your fellow human beings compassion, so that we can all ascend and really start to move through to what comes next in a peaceful, empowered, connected community. Okay, be well.